Hey, y'all. What's going on with you? So, this is series two, Books That Built Me, Reading and Reflection Edition. And welcome to Books That Built Me, the series where every single freaking last episode is a personal testimony. I am Antasia Shabrit Armour, mindset and style coach. Okay. And in this season, I'm sharing the books that truly changed my life. These aren't just reviews, people, they're reflections. I'll tell you what worked, what didn't, how I used it, and how I rated for real life. So let's turn pages and corners together. Okay. So as we go forward and figure out what we want to do now, as episode 7 goes into where we needed to be. Well, as we get older and we figure out what we want to go ahead on and have things come as a certain vibe, which gets into episode 7, visualize and embody. And when you think about how you want things to go, realize what's around, especially you. Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody else gonna really make sure that you totally straight. It is gonna appear to be. And what is so weird about people who want to give off those type of images that they appear a certain way, it's usually because those are ones who wish you the worst, who mean you the most harm. Period. And point blank. And that's just what time it is. If everybody else stay having something else to say, stay want to be noisy, stay want to have something else to come up off their mouth, because normally that's just what they do, right? They think that they doing well. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. They think they got and they buzzing and so they start to kind of sort of become a little bit of a nuisance, right? But it's hard for people to admit that they rather perpetrate, front, and give off energy. Okay, so that's why you have to surround yourself with visualizations, a place that you want to see yourself in. Not what somebody else wants for you, not what somebody else trying to force upon you. That's a weak-minded individual. And the weak thought normally is not going to last. The weak person who wants you to fail because they so mad about whatever they got going on is not going to succeed. Trust when I say this. So episode 7 around visualizing and embodying deals with Joel Osteen, become a better you. And this is a journal. Now, I have not had moments where most of these journals were really like a really big piece of what necessarily takes place. But when you do have those moments and you're looking at how to make your journals come a certain way, then you are going to notice that certain type of ways to figure out what you want things to be or look like and what have you are a part of journaling. Myself, I just started a new 30-day challenge for spiritual journaling, and I'm telling you now, it has been nothing but a 5-star session every single time. And we're on, I want to say now, maybe day 6 or day 7, and we're getting ready to go into like 8 or 9, of course. And so, why is that such a big deal? And truth be told, and truthfully, it's not. I say that though to say as an example of what journals can do for your mindset and your style. Because the shift comes in where you stop looking at other people to help figure out your life and you turn to yourself. You begin to question yourself and seek the answers from within, never from without. And as you understand this, so this week's book is all about spiritual visualization and identity. Become a better you invites us to dress in alignment with our purpose. And what does that mean? Ladies, I saw my girl, I want to say Rich Desi, and they're discussing how you kind of sort of want to have a modest young lady. Because to myself, as soon as I hear that we are dressed in alignment with our purpose, I think of a modest young lady who does not recount on her body to get her where she wants to go. That kind of reminds me of sleeping your way to the top, where you're relying on your physical body and its curves and its power to make you successful. It has nothing to do with your brain, your thoughts, and or your thinking pattern. So that's where that really resonates, especially with Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen is always going to be a part of that certain entity that has where the scarlet or the prostitute lady who was sleeping around and whatnot, the harlot, and you are kind of sort of embodying and relying on that, but that was considered a negative in Jesus's eyes, and that's why it's around a point where you're looking to stir up trouble, but you still necessarily, so to speak, are coming to Christ and asking Him to heal you. So it is a bit of a double-edged sword, a two by fold, if you will, because you kind of sort of are understanding that your issues are there, but yet you, in the sense, that did it for however many years that you chose. So it is a bit of a point. And again, that's really how we kind of gotta look at the things that are taking place around us. You don't like where you are. Okay, cool. How many years before you're going to put yourself in a place that you did want to be at, or that you did want to have as a consideration for whatever the dreams were that were manifesting? We have to think about those type of ideas for some time and really understand that that's where you need to place your energy at then, because as soon as you allow yourself to express the things that you want in that manner, you're going to actually attract it and draw those things to you. And that's really where you want to find yourself at. And as I took the time out to actually choose to journal, I begun to realize that as I kind of sort of got out everything that was bothering me, everything that had been building up and has been pent up. And at first, it was just like, I'm just going to brush it off and just answer these questions. But as I matured over that lesson throughout this journal, I realized that that was a perfect space. And what do I mean by having a perfect space? A perfect space is something that's implied by really, because think about it. When you are aware of all of the thoughts that are going on, of all of the different, I mean, y'all know energies that are taking place. You have a perfect, well meaning, well intended, well educated, a well spiritual endeavor to allow, which allows you and ourselves and me to really hunker in and really let out, and not even let out, but really express. Okay. And it's just paid us, because the journal, if anybody has ever had it, is very kind of sort of like very in your face. It's a very straightforward. If I had a picture, I actually would show it to you all. But for now, memory is going to have to serve as verbatim. And if y'all hear anything extra, it's just what comes with the territory necessarily, so to speak. And now, I'm going to give you a few extra pointers about this in particular, speaking how not to sleep on these type of things, because they will actually eventually lead you to your higher self. And how is that possible, Antasia? What does that have to do with anything? Authentic love coaching. Well, this is how and this is why. Because as you go throughout the day and you utilize those sources, especially resources that are something that's considered of a valuable nature. And let's say, for an example, but maybe you just don't care. I mean, for real, how many of us really can just care less about everything that we have? So we constantly going back out to the malls. And after a while, the mall is cool. But now I'm trying to go to a Chanel where that store is at, by whatever mall that may have been, especially in my hometown of Dallas. So I'm kind of done with Ohio. So when we have those energies in there for warning you before you go out somewhere else into a different establishment, what is it that you really are trying to do? Check out what you have already before you head there. And that's where the sage comes in at. That sageness says that by doing these things, you necessarily spare yourself an unnecessary trip. And if you are anything like me, I hate being on the road unnecessarily. I hate driving in bad weather with stupid drivers, like people who got people in the back seat and bodies, and you chopped up somebody and you just riding around yelling and screaming. Like, if I can avoid that, why not? Especially this day and age, everybody's mental health is tripping, everybody on edge. So why not allow yourself to rest in the comfort that, okay, I don't even need this, so I really don't need to be around it anyway, instead of inviting that type of issue into your life. Especially my boss babes, y'all know that you trying to be a higher young lady, so you know for a fact that you really are not interested in that type of energy. And so that's what I did. I chose to go through some of the resources. I love books. I just ordered some new books off eBay. If you strapped on time, I definitely always am going to suggest use books from eBay. If you can't even afford that, then you always want to be able to go to the library and just get them for free. Sometimes the libraries will sell their books and they're probably like 20 cents, 25 cents, or $1. Like they're extremely cheap. So you might want to stack up and have those in bulk. So whenever you are looking to pass by some time or you need some sort of energy booster and you realize that now that you have what you're looking for, that you can start to really understand that, oh wow, I have this journal sitting here, nobody's touching, nobody using it. Okay, cool, that's my cue, thank you. Why not kind of sort of go ahead on and utilize what I've actually had a blessed moment to actually find. And now I'm going to sit down and I have some more space to write out some things for my own mental. And that means that my health is going to be top tier now, or my health is looking real good because I done took this time out. My skin's starting to glow because I'm really trying to fuel my body with some things that are cool. And now that I'm doing these things, I can have another moment to reflect about those things inside my journal. And so I really want to have a sense of an alignment with the purpose that I'm really am feeling as though I fulfill according to God's will. And that's a really big part of why this is so crucial. So when we think of what our mindset is, what would your highest self wear? And exactly, maybe our highest self is going to do this particular journal in a really nice two-piece. Maybe she's doing that with a beautiful pen. Maybe the journal and the beautiful pen and the nice new two-piece may have been accompanied with a really nice refreshment, whether a beautiful, stunningly hot new peppermint type of tea, or for an example, maybe even at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., early in the day, around some beautiful light therapy, or it can just be something like I'm gonna probably do this right quick as I rock my Rolex that's in a gold undertone as I sip a cup of tea. And it's really just about a matter of personal preference, if nothing else. And then style prompt Sunday best every day. Oh, for sure, for sure. Because think about it, as we go to church, all we want to do is really just make sure that we got the beautiful hat, that everything is pressed and put together. But again, on a daily basis, why not have that same energy? Why not practice those same vibratory correspondences throughout our days and mark them off each day? Now, I have had many different planners. I have built so many planners, but I have gotten to points where I didn't even go through Canva. It wasn't even necessary. All I needed was some pen and a piece of paper. That was it. And I would just jot down, created by, and this is what I use. I mean, I had got to the point where I just simply wanted to just jot down every little thing in a very quick, organized manner. And what I had chose to do was create a tracking sheet. And I put the offense or somebody whining or complaining over here what the particular complaint or whiny person you had been, and then on the other side I put who it was by. And then it's almost kind of sort of like having a prayer list. As I go on my prayer list every Fridays from Providence Baptist Church, we always have a list of names and the complaint of ill, sick, death, divorce, family struggles, and then we tap off the name. Lord Heavenly Father, be with this entity as they go through and traverse these waters. Christ's name, Lord God, amen. Or we can kind of sort of just take that same attitude and we can apply it as well. I have a small group, right? And so I definitely rated this journal 5 out of 5. This experience in general is a total high type of correspondence when it comes to dealing with experiences. And so I'm like, well, my small group is here. Okay, well, cool. Well, now that I have my small group, what am I going to do? Am I just going to shut them to the side? Am I just going to go ahead on and start complaining? Yeah, sign me up for whatever you got. I'll take whatever. Even if I'm like, well, damn, okay, y'all already hooked me up and I was very contented to just live and went ahead and did that. But, thanks to unforeseen forces, I had to kind of sort of just been grateful for what I did get. And that's just what it was, you know what I mean? And I'm not the person who's going to force anybody else to do anything. We're so short-handed, so understaffed that now at this point, it's about just sitting in a stairwell making podcasts. Like, seriously, I really don't want to I'm not trying to come across as that young lady who's just never contented with anything, no matter how many groups I get into, no matter how many ways that people says this is this or this is the group for you, you're always going to find fault in it. And that is such a sad place to be in and be at. Because don't get me wrong, I miss my small group to death. And I wish, I swear to God, that we had just been able to pick up where we left off. But God has other things in store for us sometime. And as you do go into those different phases of alignment, we're going to just learn how to practice. Okay, well, why not keep it how it is? Why not find contentment in what it is that we've tried to do, at least, instead of always wanting to run and figure out that somebody else has it better somewhere else, or the green grass over there what somebody else has is better than what we had, so we're not coming back over here. Or the fact that that's even a thing is kind of sad to myself as well, because then I have to think about it like, well, okay, if I really was speaking my mind and I was being genuine, is that an indicator to really like someone less, or is it really an indicator to really realize that, oh wow, okay, this person's really sweet and we love them because they even took the time out to even choose the route and wish that they did. So you always want to ask yourself these personal questions before you just jump the bandwagon and jump ship and just abandon and leaving your folks behind. You know what I mean? Because you always feel like something else is going on and something else is better. So that's definitely the shift, being able to figure out what I want to look like. And then the connection and style is also a big part of having those efforts to actually actualize those particular things. And then the client takeaways I want you all to have is always make sure that you find contentment in something, because we assume that contentment is just going to go away, and it never did. So imagine your irony of the sadness when you really feel as though it did. And in reality, that's just definitely a part of a misunderstanding, a misconception of how things truly work. So that contentment isn't going to go anywhere just because you all are dismembered and disbanded, even if the devil kind of sort of makes us want to believe otherwise. So that's this client takeaway I want you all to kind of ponder as well. And then, because you'll never find contentment in every and all things, you have to find one thing, find contentment in it, and then be grateful and find a spirit of gratefulness in that you actually even have self-actualized something that you have been dreaming of, that you dreamed of. And that's our I want you all to have as a client takeaway. And then a mini challenge or style prompt. We've already discussed the style prompt, so hopefully you all can do that, how to do your Sunday best daily. Okay. Well, I'm gonna basically end it here then. I'm content with everything now. So thanks for joining me on this journey through the books that built me. If this episode sparked something for you or reminded you of your own growth, share it, rate it, and keep reading with intention. I'll be back next week with another story, another shift, and another book that helps shape the woman I am today. So until next time, keep growing, keep glowing, and stay becoming. If you all have any other questions, visit me online on our website, www.payhip.com/authentic glow coaching.